Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good morning to our lecturer, Dr. ZAMINOR BINTI ZAMZAMIR or ZAMZAMIN. Today we will present our duties on the subject of Financial Management AFT 2073 with respect to analysis of account statement for ExxonMobil and Petronas Gas Berhad companies from 2019 and 2021. Our group members consist of NURBAIYA, AQMA SYAFEEQAH, CHONG RAIDAH, MOHD FAIZUL, and I am Muhammad ZAMZURI. As an introductions, what we study in this task. Okay, our main focus is on the ratio analysis study. What's the ratio analysis? The ratio analysis is a quantitative method of gaining insight into the company's liquidity, operational efficiency, and profitability by studying its financial statements such as balance sheets and income statement. Ratio analysis is a cornerstone of equity analysis. Ratio analysis compares line item data from a company financial statements to reveal insight regarding profitability, liquidity, and solvency. What's the financial ratio functions? The first is insight to companies such as reveal insight regarding profitability, liquidity, and solvency. Second, as a benchmark. In the other hand, ratio analysis had be required by external parties that sets a benchmark often tied to risk. While ratio offer useful insight into a company, they should be paired with other metrics to obtain a broader picture of a company's financial health. Third is the financial health. Ratio analysis tells that investor and employee to evaluate the financial health of a company by scrutinizing past and a current financial statement. Fourth, ratio help to evaluate stock within an industry. Likewise, they measure as a company years 2023 against in historical numbers. It is also important to understand the variable driving ratios as a management has a flexibility to, at that time, alter its strategy to make its stock and the company ratio more attractive. First of all, I will start with ExxonMobil company. There is a history for the ExxonMobil company. Over the past 135 years, ExxonMobil has evolved from a regional marketer of kerosene in the US to the one of the largest publicly traded petroleum and petrochemical enterprise in the world. Today, ExxonMobil operates in most of the world countries and are the best known by family brands names Exxon, Esso, and Mobil. Let's make the products that drive modern transportations, power city, lubricate industry, and provide petrochemical building blocks that lead to the thousands of the consumer goods. Colonel Edwin Drake and Uncle Billy Smith drew the first successful oil well in Titusville, Pennsylvania. The Colonel Discovery trigger the oil boom that parallels that gold rush of the decade early. The vision for this company is to explore for the oil and gas, provide the energy product, and working to create sustainable solutions that improve quality of the life and meet society's evolving needs. Revenue contribution of automobile companies that are operating revenue amounted to approximately 285 and 6.6 billion US dollar in 2021. As the mobile net income fell to history loss of 22.4 billion US dollar because of pandemic coronavirus since 2020. For the second company is Petronas Gas Berhad. The history of this company is a Malaysian oil and gas company established in 1874 and wholly owned by government of Malaysia. Petronas Gas was ranked at 1881 first 8th. Petroleum also ranked 48th globally in the 2020 Bentley Infrastructure 500s. The vision for this company is as flow for oil and gas, provide the energy product, provides as a substantial source of income for Malaysia governments. The revenue contributions for Petronas Gas Berhad company is Petronas has been publishing its financial reports online since 2008. Petronas revenue come from petroleum export from Malaysia, 50%, domestic operation 20%, and international operation 30%. The weightage of the revenue streams was similar in 2020, where international operations accounted for 33% of the total revenue received by Petronas.
And liquidation for ExxonMobil is very liquidation ratio is very easy to exchange for cash under 1 year. And if you look at this ExxonMobil company, for 3 years liquidity ratio are very good and they will be increased in 2021 and is for good for company. Profitability ratio is come from 3 sources, yaitu return on equity, return on sale dan return on asset. And if you look for 2019, the net income return on sale is 3,553,948, and for 2020 increase to 0.45 and for 2021 is increase 0.61, and the return on asset net income total asset is 0.12 for 2019, and for 2020 is 0.15, and for 2021 is 0.19. And return on equity and net income for equity for ExxonMobil for 2019 0.17, the 2020 same 0.17, and for 2021 increase to 0.25. It's a good for company. And gross profit margin for 2019 is 21.97%. For 2020 is 23.83%. And operating profit margin is operating income and revenue is 2019 8.66%, 2020 1.7%, and 2021 is 30.67%. The trend net profit margin, return on asset, and return on equity. The relationship between profitability and liquidity is profitability can be defined as the final measure of economic success achieved by a company in relation to the capital invested in it. This economic success is determined by the magnitude and of the net profit accounting. To achieve an appropriation return over the amount of risk accepted by the shareholder is the main objective of company operating in capitalist economy. Profit is a propulsive element of any investment of different project. The assessment of profitability is usually done through ROA, return on asset, net income or total asset, and ROE, return on equity, net income equity, which is the ultimate measure of economic success. In the other hand, accounting liquidity is the ExxonMobil. Capacity is liquidity mature short term debt within 1 year. Maintenance adequate liquidity is much more than a corporate goal. Is a condition without which it could not be reached the continuity of business. Liquidity are two concepts. They are closely related and reflect upon the action of companies' working capital policy. A low liquidity may lead to increased financial costs and result in the incapacity to pay its obligation. It is common to find reference to the fact that it is desirable to keep company liquidity ratio higher than 1.00. That would prove ExxonMobil ability to repay short-term commitment with the liquidity of the short-term assets. Any ratio below 1.0 means that the business may not be generating cash enough to meet the short-term obligation. Analysis or the observing of company balance sheet and face a liquidity ratio of less than 1.00, it shall not in principle consider in it to be unable to pay its debts on time. For activity ratio for ExxonMobil, inventory turnover ratio is cost of a goods sold divide stock, and 2090 is 255,583 divide for 18528, and the answer is 13.79. For 2020 is 9.47, and for 2021 is 14.73. For vertical analysis, is average collection ratio is account receivable or debtor divide sales and multiply 316.5 day, and for 2019 for ExxonMobil is 38.46, for 2020 is 42.14, and for 2021 is 42.14, is the same. And for fixed asset ratio is sale divide fixed assets, and for 2019 the result is 1.01. For 2020 is 0.78, and 2021 is 1.28. And for vertical analysis for account receivable ratio is sales divide account receivable, and for 2019 for ExxonMobil is 9.49, for 2020 is 8.66, and 2021 is same and it's 8.66. And for vertical analysis, total asset turnover is sale divide total assets, and for 2019 is a 0.70, 2020 is 0.54, and 2020 is 0.82.
Hi everyone, I'm Chong and I will talk about ratio analysis about Petronas Berhad. There are also many ratios have done by us. The first one is gross profit margin Petronas gas Berhad in 2019, it had reached the highest one, which is 35.1%, while operating profit margin and net profit margin in 2021 have get the highest, which is 30.45% and 33.49%. Return to equity of Petronas gas Berhad in 2019 is 0.092 and in 2021 is 0.206. However, return on asset in 2019 is 0.065 and in 2021 is 0.157. Other than that, liquidity ratio Petronas gas Berhad also get a best ratio in 2021. It is because current ratio reached 4.33, acid test ratio reached 3.88, and net working capital reached 16.473. Debt ratio, time earning ratio, and debt to equity also get a good one in 2020, which is 0.34, 2.98, and 0.48. Activity ratio Petronas gas Berhad for the inventory turnover ratio, average collection period, and account receivable turnover in 2019, which is 17.02, 253.99, and 1.44. But in 2020, it reached 8.01, 364.51, and 0.98. Also in 221, it reached 40.61, 128.01, and 2.85. Last fixed assets ratio in 2019 until 2021, which is 0.58, 0.47, and 0.91. Furthermore, total asset turnover also reached 0.39, 0.31, and 0.49 in 2019 until 2021. That's all.
Leverage ratio for ExxonMobil and Petronas gas Berhad. The debt ratio is defined as the ratio of total debt to total assets expressed as a decimal or percentage. In other words, the company has more liabilities than assets. Based from the graph, ExxonMobil got 0.5068 in debt ratio, while for Petronas gas Berhad got 0.24 debt ratio. The different debt ratio both firms is 0.2668. From this result, we all know that ExxonMobil has more debt ratio than Petronas gas Berhad. This indicates that ExxonMobil company may be putting itself at risk of default on its loan if interest rates were to rise suddenly in current year. Okay, second I will explain activity ratio for ExxonMobil and Petronas gas Berhad. So inventory turnover ratio measure how fast a company sells inventory and how analysts compare it to industry average. For this inventory turnover ratio, Petronas gas Berhad got 40.61, higher than ExxonMobil, which got in current year, which is 14.73. This indicate that Petronas gas Berhad better in inventory turnover ratio than ExxonMobil. The higher inventory turnover in PGB may have a strong sales or insufficient inventory in 2021. So average collection ratio period is the time that it takes for a company to convert balance from account receivable back into cash flow. So from this graph, we know that ExxonMobil only got 42.14 in the current year. So PGB are higher than ExxonMobil. This is indicate that ExxonMobil may have a few problems to communicate with their clients regarding their debts and company expectation of payment. The lower number in average collection period is the more efficient the business is collecting payment from its customer. The high demand of average collection period is a serious problem for any business or firm.
Assalamualaikum to my fellow fan and Dr. ZAMINOR binti ZAMZAMIR. My name is NURBAIYA binti RAMLAN from Faculty Entrepreneurship and Business. Today I'm going to talk about vertical ratio analysis for ExxonMobil and Petronas Gas Berhad in 2021. So based from graph, the result ratio for ExxonMobil is 23.83%, while for Petronas Gas Berhad is 31.79%. Petronas Gas Berhad ratio is higher than ExxonMobil in total difference with 7.96%. The factor higher result in gross profit ratio indicate of company financial health. It may the company can make a reasonable profit and sales as long it keeps overhead costs in control. For this higher in gross profit in current year, the investor tend to pay more for a Petronas Gas Berhad with higher gross profit rather than ExxonMobil. Next is operating profit margin. So operating profit margin indicates how much profit a company makes after paying for variable costs of production such as raw materials and many more. It is also expressed as percentages of sales and then shows the efficiency of a company controlling the costs and expenses associated with business operation. Based from the graph, ExxonMobil result is 13.67% lower than Petronas Gas Berhad result, which is 30.45%. So the difference both firm is 16.78%. This shows that Petronas Gas Berhad have better profit than ExxonMobil in 2021. Return on equity. Return on equity is measure of profitability that calculate how many ringgit or profit a company generates which ringgit Malaysia of shareholders' equity. Based from graph, the return on equity ratio for ExxonMobil is 0.21, while for Petronas Gas Berhad got 0.206. This is shown that ExxonMobil are more higher than Petronas Gas Berhad return on equity result, which is the total difference is 0.004. ExxonMobil can generate a profit in shareholders' equity better than Petronas Gas Berhad. Next is return on assets. Return on asset is an indicator of how profitable a company is relative to its total assets. Return on assets give a manager, investor or analyst an idea as to how efficient a company's management is using its assets to generate earnings. The return to asset for ExxonMobil got 0.16 and 0.157 for Petronas Gas Berhad. The total difference of both firms is 0.033. It is indicate that ExxonMobil are more profitable to its total assets than Petronas Gas Berhad. Next is return on sales. Return on sales is a measure of how efficiently a company turns sales into profit. Return on sales is calculated by dividing operating profit by net sales. Return on sale is only useful when comparing companies in the same line of business and roughly the same size. Based from the graph, Petronas Gas Berhad result is 0.52% lower than ExxonMobil, which is 0.61%. The difference both firm is 0.09%. This shows that ExxonMobil have better profit than Petronas Gas Berhad in 2021. Next is liquidity ratios. Okay, so the current ratio helps to provide insights into a company's ability to pay their short-term obligation back in short-term or liquid assets. Based from the graph current ratio result, the ExxonMobil got 3.1 and for Petronas Gas Berhad is 4.33. This shows that Petronas Gas Berhad are more able to pay short-term obligation better than ExxonMobil in current year. Asset test ratio is a measure of how well a company can meet its short-term financial liabilities. Based from graph, ExxonMobil got 3.02 while Petronas Gas Berhad got 3.88 in 2021. The different both firm is 0.86. For this asset test ratios, Petronas Gas Berhad are more higher result than ExxonMobil. The Petronas Gas Berhad are more able to pay its current liabilities. So last for liquidity ratios, that is net working capital. The net working capital is indicate that measure of liquidity of the company. From the graph, the Petronas Gas Berhad net working capital amount are lowest than ExxonMobil net working capital amount in 2021. The different amount between both firm is 144,162. Based from result, this is indicate that ExxonMobil is more able to meet its payment obligation as they fall due better than Petronas Gas Berhad in current year.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is NURBAIYA RAZAN binti Muhammad FAIZAL and my matrix number is A21L0003EP. So today I'm gonna present about recommendation to improve an organization. Okay, first recommendation on ExxonMobil. For ExxonMobil, we can do a consolidate debt, which is they can combine all their debt into a low interest and also low fee product. So when they refinance the current debt, so they can go around and see if they can have a better deal when from their previous debt. Okay, second is the improve in cash flow. They can simply way to improve their cash flow with such as making send a correct invoice during the purchases and follow up the outstanding customer payment as soon as possible, and also reducing any expenses, monthly expenses, which is their inventory suppliers, their debts, and also their periodic payment plan. Okay, we go through for Petronas Gas Berhad. First is recover outstanding debt, which is they can chase up many outstanding payments they can using a reputable debt collection agency, but they also can have a condition when have a deal with customer, which is like sales agreement, and in that agreement they can include how long they need to pay and also the percentage if overdue from the payment. Next is reduce and rearrange expenses. This is really word in any organization for their expenses that could reduce and also rearrange. They might able to arrange a defer payment plan for larger expenses. And also, they can choose another companies, which is insurance companies and bankers are also supplier to get a better deals and more cheaper than usually used from previous banker, also suppliers. Okay, they also need to change how much stock needed to buy in this month or also for afterward month. And also they need to switch to cheaper option for consumables like manpower and inventories. Okay, the next point is offer markdowns or increase prices. In sales, we can have right to increase our prices product or any services. So we can attract any sales and also which is additional supplies, stock or discontinue any product that have not been sold. So the next point is increase any price that an option to use in business using a rising cost. So they can offer markdown or increase prices. Make sure they need to comply with pricing legislation. Okay, I think that's all from us. Thank you for watching this video and have a nice day.